So you want to eat clean, but you also like to have some money left over at the end of the month. Well, today I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. We're going to cut the BS, look at real food and see where you can find it in an Australian supermarket. We'll start with what are probably the most controversial carbs in the world right now. What are the cheapest clean carbs in an Australian supermarket? That's right. Rice, oats, and sweet potato. Rice has come under fire recently because of this thing called the glycemic index, which ranks carbohydrates by how quickly they raise your blood sugar levels. Now, rice does score high on this scale, but when you take a closer look, you realize that the differences aren't that big compared to other so-called healthy carbs like bread and pasta. Also, what it doesn't tell you is that all white rice actually comes from brown rice, meaning that the outer shell has been removed, which just so happens to remove most of the nutrients. But wait, there's more. White rice contains arsenic. Oh my god. Now arsenic is naturally occurring in soil, water, and even our food. Yes, it's toxic, and yes, it can cause cancer. But here's the thing. White rice actually has one of the lowest concentrations of arsenic compared to things like apple juice, strawberries, and milk. Arsenic is everywhere, and in small amounts, we consume it every single day. When you buy brown rice, you're basically getting arsenic, fiber, vitamins, minerals, and everything else in the package. So why not go for white rice instead? It's cheaper, has less arsenic, and will help you stay lean. Oats are another great option. They're super filling because of their high fiber content. They're also cheap. Rolled oats only cost $2.40 per kilogram. If you're feeling fancy, steel-cut oats are a little bit more expensive at $3.80 per kilogram, but they do take longer to cook and have a firmer texture. Sweet potato has become popular in recent years as a healthier alternative to regular potato. A regular-sized sweet potato will set you back about $2.20. You can boil it, roast it, bake it, or mash it. One thing you should never do is microwave it. Don't be that guy. Now let's move on to the cheapest sources of protein in Australian supermarkets. Canned tuna is always a winner. Look for cans of tuna packed in spring water instead of oil. Tuna is usually priced between $5 and $6 per kilogram. You can make a quick tuna salad by mixing it with salt, pepper, onion, tomato, and sweet pickle relish. Eggs are another cheap source of protein. A dozen eggs will cost you around $7.50. And if you live in a capital city, you might find free-range or organic eggs for a few dollars extra. As far as nutrition goes, the main difference between regular eggs and these fancier eggs is the color of the yolk. The feed given to chickens in the outer regions sometimes includes more soy and grain, compared to the feed given to chickens that lay brown eggs. This is why the yolks of brown eggs are a darker shade of yellow. In terms of taste and health benefits, there's really no difference. If you're a carnivore, then you'll know that meat is not cheap. But I've got a few tips to save you some cash. Firstly, go to your local Aussie butcher. They usually have good deals on meat if you buy in bulk. And when I say bulk, I mean like 10 kilos or more of meat, which will last you a while. Just make sure you freeze it. Secondly, buy cheaper cuts of meat, like chicken thighs, instead of chicken breasts. Chicken thighs are usually half the price of chicken breasts, and they're just as healthy. You can easily turn chicken thighs into chicken breasts by removing the skin. Thirdly, buy whole chickens and break them up yourself. Chickens are usually priced at around $9.50 each, which works out to be around $3.80 per pack of chicken breasts. One of the biggest debates in the world of nutrition is frozen vegetables versus fresh vegetables. Are frozen veggies smarter for your wallet and just as good for your health? Or do you need to spend extra on fresh veggies to get the best nutrition? Well, frozen veggies are definitely better for your wallet. Just take a look at the price of frozen broccoli versus fresh broccoli. 500 grams of frozen broccoli will only cost you $1.90, whereas the same amount of fresh broccoli will cost you $7.50. Frozen veggies are picked at their peak ripeness and then flash frozen, which locks in their nutrition. Fresh veggies, on the other hand, are picked before they're ripe, shipped around the country, and sit in the supermarket for days before you buy them. So yeah, frozen veggies are much better. Okay, now that we've covered the basics of clean eating, let's talk about how to save the most time. If you're constantly rushing around trying to make food in the evenings after a long day, you're never going to stick to your healthy eating plan. The best solution is to spend a couple of hours on the weekend prepping your food for the week. Spend a couple of hours washing, chopping, and portioning out your fruits, veggies, meats, and carbs. You can also prep your meals completely by cooking them in advance. It is way easier to heat up a meal in the microwave than it is to cook one from scratch. If you're short on time, even just cutting up some carrots and celery sticks can save you lots of time during the week. Now let's look at a few ways to save money. Aldi is a goldmine for clean eating on a budget. Most of the products I mentioned in this video are sold at Aldi. Here are a few more examples. Canned sardines packed in water are only $2.50. You can mix them with diced tomato, onion, and capers for a simple sardine pasta. Canned salmon is $4.10. You can use it to make delicious salmon cakes. Frozen berries are $4.10. They're perfect for making smoothies. Frozen mixed vegetables are only $1.90. You can add them to omelets, stir fries, and any other dish that needs extra veggies. Sweet potato is $2.20. You can mash it, roast it, bake it, or fry it. Brown rice is $2.40. You can make a giant batch of rice and keep it in the fridge for a few days. Protein powders are another area where you can save lots of money. You can buy casein protein powder for $16. It's a little bit thicker than whey protein and it stays in your stomach for longer, which makes it ideal for bedtime. You can buy whey protein for $19. Whey protein is great after a workout. You can also buy plant-based protein powders like pea, brown rice, and soy protein, but they tend to be a little bit more expensive. Here's how to build a full day of eating for under 15 Australian dollars. Breakfast: 2 Tabani yogurts, 2 coffee. Lunch: 2 slices of bread, 1 slice of cheese, tomato, lettuce, ham, beetroot, mustard, salt and pepper. Snack: apple. Dinner: 1 chicken thigh, 1 medium sweet potato, broccoli. Treat yourself: 2 Tabani yogurts. Now, if you're trying to eat clean, it's very important to be aware of the dangers of health, aka fitness marketing in supermarkets. So many companies are taking advantage of our desire to eat healthy by selling us fake health foods. Take a look at these muffins, for example. They're marketed as being healthy because they contain ingredients like chia seeds, cranberries, and almonds, but they're still a muffin. They're loaded with flour and sugar. In fact, they have the same amount of sugar as a Snickers bar. Same goes for these so-called healthy snacks. Just because they contain nuts and seeds doesn't make them healthy. They're still calorie dense and they can easily contribute to weight gain. Just take a look at the ingredients list. 1 serving contains 580 calories. 1 serving also contains 17 grams of sugar. And what is a serving? A serving is a small handful, about this much. But who actually eats this much nuts and seeds in one sitting? Most people eat the whole bag, and that's 290 calories and 51 grams of sugar. Not exactly a healthy snack. You don't need to buy fancy oils or sauces to make your food taste good. Start with simple spices like black vinegar, sesame oil, garlic, and ginger. For a sweet and sour sauce, try mixing together pineapple juice, rice vinegar, a little bit of sugar, and some soy sauce. Supplements are a waste of money if you're eating clean. Just focus on getting your nutrition from real food. Clean cheat meals are possible. If you're craving something like a cheeseburger, sausage roll, or a piece of fried chicken, you don't need to feel guilty about it. Enjoy your cheat meal and then get back on track the next day. Eating out clean in Australia can be hard, but it's possible. If you're at a restaurant, try ordering grilled chicken or fish with steamed vegetables. If you're at a pub, try ordering a meat or seafood platter. Avoid creamy dressings and especially deep-fried foods. This final trick is a mental trick. Tell yourself that you don't buy junk food anymore. Even if you have money left over at the end of the month, you don't need to spend it on junk food. It's okay to enjoy a treat every once in a while. But if you tell yourself that you don't buy junk food anymore, you won't be tempted to waste your money on it. Now check out how to burn fat without exercise. Or click this other video instead. See ya.